and today I have a crazy exciting video for you. So I do want to start by saying that I am going to be doing a first impressions and wear test of the new Flower Beauty Light Illusion Foundation. I have seen this all over YouTube. I am super excited to try it. But what makes me most excited to try it is, you guys might have seen on YouTube, maybe with Jamie Genevieve or with Heather, who's Makeup Mouse here on YouTube, that they had a little special guest when they tried out Flower Beauty. And I'm so happy to say that that special guest is here with me today. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Drew Barrymore. Drew, I am so excited to have you here today. I am such a huge fan. I just can't even tell you how much your support means to me. The fact that you're here is a complete dream come true, and I know that everyone kind of fangirls and they're like, oh, I love Charlie's Angels, but let me say, I'm all about Firestarter and a little bit of Poison Ivy. Is that weird to say? So, I mean, should I just get right into the makeup? Should I just get right into trying your makeup? Like, where are you going? Drew? So all joking aside, this is a water-based foundation, and a lot of the benefits that they're claiming are sun protection benefits. This does have broad spectrum SPF of 18, and when you read the instructions, a lot of the instructions are things like apply it before you go out in the sun and use this as sun protection. So it's almost like they're touting this more as sun protection than as foundation, which is a little weird, but this is supposed to be a very dewy foundation, so if you are a matte kind of girl or guy, I would stick away from this, but we'll see. I'm a little nervous about the color match. This looks very light, but the girl who I talked to in Ulta swore that this was my color as opposed to the one that was the next darker. Let's hope she's right, because one thing I'm awful at is matching myself to foundation. I'm terrible at it. So I do want to start with the Becca First Light Priming Filter. I'm just going to apply this all over my face. Okay, let me zoom you in a little bit. So as you can probably see, I do have a lot of red marks on my face today, especially on my forehead. I did a little heavy exfoliation, a little too heavy, but I do want to go in with the foundation, one side using a brush. This is my Morphe M439 brush that I did buy before I went cruelty-free, and on the other side I will use a beauty blender. We will see which one works best. Ooh, so it has a pump at the top, which I love. I can't stand squeezy tubes or things like that. This looks awesome. So how many squeezes will it take to actually get the product out? Is this like a Tootsie Pop? Like, how many licks does it take? 2, a 3, a 4, a 5, a 6, a 6. Okay, let's start with the brush side. The color is a pretty good match. This is very streaky when I apply it with the brush. I think this is going to be a beauty blender foundation. Let's try this. Okay, so the color is a touch light, but it's not too bad. You can see it does match my neck. I definitely like the beauty blender side more. This side I'm actually going to pat back over it with the beauty blender. In general, when applying foundations or BB creams or anything like that, I do prefer a beauty blender or my hands as opposed to a brush. Let's take a closer look at the skin. This really looks lovely on the skin. You can barely tell I'm wearing foundation. If you're very close, you can tell I'm wearing foundation. But it does look very natural, and it does give the skin a sort of luminosity, as you can see here. It is not as dewy as I was expecting though, or I should probably say as I was hoping for, because when I saw it on other people, they were just glowing and they just looked like almost wet, which is a look that I personally like since I have dry skin. I love a good dewy wet look. It's good though. It doesn't feel sticky. It feels like it's settling in nicely. I don't like using powder, so I'm kind of happy that it doesn't feel too sticky and that it's not something that you have to set. I'm not mad about it. Now, I did a very light coverage because this is the kind of coverage I prefer. I do believe that this would be buildable to a medium coverage. I would not say it's full, so if you are a full coverage kind of girl, maybe not for you. So far, so good. Now my redness here, it did have a little bit of a hard time covering up. I'm gonna put a touch more on my forehead so that we can see if that can be built up to cover up redness. Okay, so with the second coat on my forehead, it still does look like skin, but I feel like you can still see what's going on there and how irritated and pissed off my skin is from me messing with it earlier. It could be what you get because like I said, it is a light to medium coverage. I don't think it's horribly noticeable. It's probably just noticeable to me, but I'm gonna go off camera and I'm gonna do my bronzer, my concealer, everything like that, and I will be right back. Okay, so here are my first thoughts. All of my face products, other than my foundation, are usually powdery products. So I do use a powder highlighter, a powder blush, and a powder bronzer. I have been using this cream contour stick by Pixi that I've really been liking for my contour, but other than that, all powders. They went on just fine. There was no skipping, there was no patchiness, and the coverage looks pretty even, I'd say. Looking up close, this still looks like my skin. Now for me, this is definitely a fuller coverage than I'm used to, which is crazy because this is by no means full coverage, but I'm used to like a BB cream, a CC cream, things like that. Sometimes I just use concealer under my eyes and I totally skip foundation. So again, this is like a little weird for me to see my face like this, but I do really like the finish and it's settled in nicely. One thing I do have to admit I'm a little bit bummed about is, again, when I saw this foundation on other YouTube videos, they were glowing just from the foundation. And I mean like really, really glowing, like dewy looking, like wet looking skin. For me, it almost was a satin finish. So, I mean, it definitely wasn't matte, but it definitely wasn't what I would call dewy on me. All of the products did layer very nicely. I do like the way it looks on my skin. I'm really curious to see how it lasts. I'm going to wear this for several hours and I will check back in with you guys at the end of my night to let you know what I think. I'm trying to debate if I'm going out at this point because my friends and I were supposed to get together at 8 p.m. Then it got pushed back to 8:30 and it just got pushed back to 9:30. I'm usually asleep by 9:30 because I'm 9,000 years old. But anyway, I just do want to say thank you to Drew Barrymore for joining me in this video. Drew, you're an inspiration, you're an icon. I will check back in with you guys in a bit, so hang tight. Okay, so I admit it has only been about 6 hours since I put the makeup on, but I'll be honest, you guys, I'm just feeling super lazy today and I'm gonna be going to bed super early. My evening plans were canceled, so yeah, I mean, it's pitch black out, which means I could go to bed at any second. Let me do my up close look and see how we feel about this foundation. I'm torn. So I think that the main thing I'm a little like bummed about is that it's not the level of dewiness that I was expecting. I was expecting so dewy, and maybe I need to change my base a little bit. Again, maybe it was because I used the First Light priming filter instead of a more luminous primer, or I usually use the Cover FX drops underneath my makeup, things like that. I mean, it looks luminous because I have a ton of highlighter on, but to be honest, like it's pretty matte. Like it's not even satiny anymore. It looks pretty matte. Now my forehead does look a bit shiny, but other than that, overall it's matte. Now that's not a huge problem because I can use highlighter, I can use luminizers, but the foundation is called Light Illusion, and the very first word after like the name of the product is luminous. I do not feel like this has a whole lot of luminosity to it. Maybe that's because my skin is dry, who knows? But I do want to keep using it because I love the way it feels and the coverage is so even and so smooth and it applied really nicely. Products applied really nicely with it. And in the 6 hours I've had it on, it has not broken down at all. It is not patchy in any place. It looks great. Even on my smile lines, it hasn't really broken down that much. My forehead, same thing. I still have, you know, some red spots showing through, but that's fine. I don't care if my skin shows through foundation. What I care about is cakiness and, you know, luminosity and things like that. So, but I will be using this in the future. I do feel like the color is a decent match for me right now. We'll see, but that's it. Let me know if you guys have tried this foundation, and while you're at it, let me know what else you've tried from Flower Beauty, because I'm really interested in this line because they are drugstore priced and cruelty free, and I mean, I love Drew Barrymore so much because, oh, she's on a, you can see she's on a stick. She's not on a stick. She's just my friend who popped in to say hi. Hi. Anyway, I hope you guys have a fantastic holiday and New Year and everything like that. You guys can follow me again on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Those are all GlitterFallout, and you are super rock stars. I love you so much. And I'll see you in the next video. God, I'm tired and loopy. I am so loopy. So I think this is where I go, mwah, bye.